Here we are with another episode of the Frosty Dinghy with the old J-Mac over there. Jerry coming in for his second go-around. Apparently he thought the first one went well, wanted to try it again. How you doing today?
Not too, brother. Just enjoying the fabulous weather.
So I may or may not have went digging and rifling through all of your shit today. And
Oh boy, here we go.
yeah, found your what the, I can't even fucking say it. We were looking at your transformation. You see how I remembered how to say that this time. And we'll start with a little bit of where you came from in your journey. A little
Where I
blast from
came
the
from.
past for you. Yeah. And
All right.
so that's
Boy,
that's right when you got started, I'm guessing, because you from the other pics that I found. I didn't want to put other people in the pics with you, but it looks like you might be about 10, 15 pounds into the weightlifting journey at that point.
that actually might have been when I decided to come back down.
Really?
So I started at when I was 23, and I was 173 pounds, soaking wet. And at that time, I worked my way up to 230, and then I started playing alumni football. I played it in up 3 games over like 5 years, I think it was. At one point in time, I decided to lose weight, see if I can get back down to 173. So I quit lifting as much and did a lot more cardio and dropped down to 180. And it was just way too hard to maintain. All I was doing was just running on the damn treadmill, and I like lifting more than I like cardio.
Yeah, you're a anti-cardio guy now, aren't you?
Well, that kind of changed this year a little bit. As I've progressively gotten bigger, I've tried to add a little more cardio in because it helps me feel better. I don't wheeze as much. Stairs aren't my enemies. But my youngest daughter, Smiley, she come up to me earlier this year, said, "Dad, we should do a triathlon." I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, I think we need to work into something like that. And she's like, well, how about a marathon? I was like, how about a 5K? And she's like, deal. And so she found one that she wanted to do. And it was at an apple orchard up in Jefferson, Iowa. And that was I think it was early October when we did that. And so, yeah, I had to step up a little more cardio for that to do that. So now I've kind of been just kind of keeping up with it a little bit because she wants to do more. So I definitely don't want to start back at ground zero.
Yeah, cardio is definitely not anybody's friend at all. So
Exactly.
what you're telling me is at this stage, you're now doing cardio.
Yeah, but I'm not doing so much that I want to lose a whole lot. So I'm trying to figure out a good balance to maintain and still get what I want to be able to not die after a 5K.
So you think a guy that size chasing people is a good idea?
Well, I think in that picture there, I think I was actually 260. I'm down to about 240 right now.
So what's the 1,500-pound club that you got going on there on that T-shirt?
That's the combination weight of bench press, deadlift, and squats, and that's the total. So we had a little competition with a couple of buddies of mine, and so I made shirts for all of us. And when we went to hit those levels, you got the T-shirt. So it's pretty fun to do. I'm nowhere near those levels anymore.
You drop back down, did you?
Yeah, I found out that as I get older here, the heavier the weight, the worse the pain.
Yeah, well, not everybody gets those growing pains from time to time, especially when it comes to lifting. So
That's right.
just to toss it out there for a minute. If you were starting at an average person, right? And you were going to
Okay.
put together a daily workout that won't kill anybody, but it would help move them along. What would you go with for the average walking into the gym person?
It depends
What's
on
most
really
beneficial?
what they want to. It
Just
depends on their level
overall fitness.
and what they're trying to. Just overall fitness.
Overall fitness.
I would definitely add in the cardio, whether it be on a treadmill, bike, elliptical, outdoors, whatever your preference. I absolutely hate running outside. I love getting on the treadmill, popping on the headphones, watching a movie, TV show, or whatever, and your time's done before you even know it. Outside, a lot of times it's hot, which I'm not a big fan of either, uh, especially when I'm running. So yeah, treadmill it is for me. But I'll definitely add that in there. And then just for overall health and fitness, um, I would just do some lightweight training. You don't got to get too crazy. Probably if you're just going in it for that standpoint, I would probably just stick to machines. They're going to help keep your form in better positioning so you're not as apt to hurt yourself. And then, like I said, I wouldn't go over the top on the weight. You're just kind of just maintaining at that point.
So lightweight, lots of reps, or circuit training, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep circuit training, keep it moving. And like a lot of gyms have classes that come with your membership, stuff like that. I know where I go, they got a lot of circuit training classes where they got stations set up and stuff like that. That's what everybody should be doing for bare minimum in my mind.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's Jerry's Daily Fitness right there. That's probably going to be your new staple coming in. Every time you pop up, we're going to ask you for a little bit more of your exercise expertise anyway, because you used to be the little guy, and then you're the big guy, and then the little guy, and you're back to cardio boy up and you're running.
But maintaining still. I don't want to. I want to stay at least 240. I want to stay at least 240. So that's my goal for right now.
You swapped out from trying to get to that 280, huh?
Well, for right now. When I got into lifting, 260 was my goal, and then I finally did hit it. And now I just, I thought maybe we could push a little bit past, but it's probably not right now. That might be kind of a fall thing. Because believe it or not, this stuff does take time. Nothing happens overnight. That's why, you always got to encourage people. Don't get discouraged. You may not see results in a week, 2 weeks, or whatever, but you got to set up a routine. You got to keep with it. Then it'll come.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. So we got the exercise out of the way. This is another thing I think that you have a little bit of opinion on is aliens. How do you feel about the aliens? And just to narrow it down a bit, what do you think 3i Atlas actually is? Do you think that's something we need to worry about, or is that just a piece of rock or metal flying through our solar system?
I'm glad you clarified that, because I wasn't sure what aliens you were talking about there for a minute. That could have been a whole different conversation there.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll get into the whole different conversation eventually, but I was just narrowing it down to the recent event of the 3i Atlas. What do you think that, in your opinion?
I guess you're going to have to catch me up. I need you to catch me up on that. What is that?
It is the third ever interstellar comet thing that has gone through that we have noticed. There was weird outgassings on it, and it was nickel outgassing, so they thought that it possibly could have been man-made, and
I see.
It was slowing down. Everybody thought it was slowing down at one point. So
how did they know that there's nickel gases on it?
Just the way that it burns off on the outgassing when it passed the sun.
Right.
And it was weird
from what we could see.
And it was weird because the outgassing was coming off the front of it like it was trying to slow down. The side knot where the sun would be hitting it and heating it up to get the outgassing, that it was coming off of the front to try and slow it down.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, hell, we don't even know what's at the bottom of our ocean, and you really think we're going to be able to tell what something's made out of from this far away? That's the problem that I have. It's kind of like, I'm not denying the moon landing, but who was there first to put down the camera?
The camera was supposedly on the landing craft, and it just had a long arm outrigger.
Right, and that's a good possibility too, but also my fucking satellite signal goes in and out. How are they getting a VHS signal or whatever the hell they were using back then to go clear from the moon to here in every TV in nationwide?
Well, then they were also, to get that, they were recording the feed from the moon off of a TV that was being projected to them. All the news channels were just literally had one camera pointed at this TV screen that all of the news feeds used.
Yeah, well, I watched something with NASA one time where there was one camera watching. I remember I was in kindergarten and the goddamn spaceship blew up, and I haven't forgot that since.
So what do you say about the sightings of the people that were on that ship that blew up? Because they're finding identical lookalikes with the same names out in society at the same age.
They're still, yeah. That's why I love spinning conspiracy theories, because hey, none of them may be true, some of them may be right, but no matter how deep you go, it all makes sense still. But people are still seeing Elvis and Tupac and Biggie out partying together, so who knows what's really going on?
They're all on that deserted island out there with the nice little cabana and the bars and all that stuff. They're just living their life, man. They aren't dead.
Right. And it's very possible.
Or in Men in Black's case, no, he didn't die. He just went home.
They say there's 10,000 inhabited islands in U.S. territory, so you never know.
Yeah.
If Epstein can have his own island, I think those guys could too.
Yeah, that's no shit. Hopefully the same things don't go out on it, but you never fucking know anymore. So
That's
speaking of
right.
the ocean and aliens,
Oh
do you
boy.
think that they have bases in the oceans and we found them? We're just not doing anything about it.
You know, that's a very possible too. I mean, I do definitely think there's a lot more that the government knows that they don't tell us. Kind of like you're never going to convince me that there's only one shooter that shot JFK. I don't care what kind of magic bullet theory they trying to spin at you, but yeah, here we are up in space doing all this stuff, but we don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean. Or do we? And they're just trying to say we can't get there.
I'm thinking I'm leaning a little bit more to that side of it, because if there was something down there, what good would it do for them to tell us? I mean, you already won't
Right,
go
you
in the
never
water.
know.
Imagine if you think there's an alien in there.
Tell me about it. You know, you go down there poking around in business you don't need to be in, you might disturb something.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well,
like the
did you see?
sharks. They stay in the water, I stay on the land. It's a negotiation.
So you don't attack any of those land sharks, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, look at that. We got a third
What
player
is
coming
up?
in. What's going on, man?
Have no camera. I am driving home yet from work, but I can't help but get on here to annoy the piss out of you.
Well, you're doing a good job of it, sir. You just came in just in time for Are There Aliens in the Ocean?
Fuck, I think I'm losing you.
What was that? Huh?
Yep, exactly. So you're talking about like
He's
the
losing
Abyss,
us.
the old movie, The Abyss.
No, not entirely, but you're close. You're close on that. We also talked about the moon landing and the Challenger blowing up. Either one of those sound like fun to you?
Well, I remember Challenger blowing up. That was like yesterday.
Exactly.
That's fucking.
I remember sitting in class watching it because there was a science teacher on there, so like all the teachers were like, yeah, this, teacher's going up into space and blah, blah, blah. And then, 37 seconds in, the sumbitch blows up? Yeah, crazy.
Oh, that's funny shit. Hang on a second. I'm gonna stop us and start us real quick. Don't run away. All right, we're back in it now. I had to turn off Wes's echo. He was killing me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet. I just don't want to delete every other sentence all day. I already talked to Jerry about that one. So since Wes thinks we're talking about movies in the ocean, you got any viewpoints on pyramids and what they actually are?
Are we fucking talking about fucking pyramids again?
You want to talk about pyramids again?
What's wrong with the pyramids? What's wrong with the pyramids here?
Fucking Kobe and his fucking pyramids.
Well, I guess I gotta
told
hear
you.
this because I'm kind of big into it here.
I told you the answer is at Oak Island. When they find the fucking the ultimate treasure in Oak Island, it will automatically repower up the pyramids, and we won't need fucking windmills and shit like that no more.
So you think you still banking on the power plant aspect, huh?
No, I'm just banking on me being a smart ass son of a bitch about it. Who knows what they were there for? I don't know.
How about you, Jerry? What do you think you got going on in the pyramids?
I actually do think they were a power source. Just exactly how they were built and pretty much perfect to where we can't even build it in the time frame today with our technology. And then they used to have that coating that was on the outside that everybody ended up stealing off of it. I definitely think there was something to it, kind of like a Tesla coil.
So do you think that there's actually rods and stuff that go down underneath of them that went into the old Nile channel that ran through it? The Aramat branch, and that's where they.
I think anything's possible. I mean, with the more stuff they keep finding out, and the older and older they keep saying now that they are, who knows? But I definitely think that the way the pyramids were built and in line with the stars and everything, I think they were conductors somehow. I don't know exactly how the electricity was generated. If it was just lightning in the air or the static electricity in the air or what, but when it was underwater, was there a lot of hydropower?
Wes, you got anything on that one, buddy? Any theories or questions?
Hydropower. I think that's probably one of the most awesome technologies that's come about in humankind, to be honest with you, is hydropower. It's amazing what it does and amazing how it works. And, one of those things that rivers, as long as we don't destroy them, are free, right? I could see how they've used water to power things for, years. Just look back at your normal, and going back, you think about windmills even that are made here, not the turbines, just the old farm windmills. They used air to pump water. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Well, they used to use paddle wheels to generate electricity as well. So I mean,
yep, absolutely.
You're moving water around, and now they're building hydrogen engines that run on heavy seawater. So do you think water
And
is like,
that
go ahead.
heavy water is weird too. I don't know if you ever watched on the History Channel the Hunting Hitler documentary series thing. It was like 3 seasons long, and one of the things they talked about was over there. I can't remember if it was in Germany or somewhere in that area. Was this heavy water technology like plant? I guess you could say like they were trying to develop the hydrogen from that. It was interesting as shit. I don't completely understand the tech. I don't completely understand heavy water and how it works. But there's people smarter, way smarter than me, that 100 years ago were figuring this shit out for the Nazis.
Sorry, I'm reading up on what you're talking about.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, instead of H2, D2O.
Yep. And it was a type of
Yeah,
nuclear reactor which uses heavy water as a neutron moderator. So basically, they're using
Yeah, so
heavy
I mean,
water to
admittedly,
create.
that's
Go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, so whatever you were just saying there is kind of Greek to me because I'm not that damn smart. But I just know the Nazis have figured it out. Luckily, they didn't figure out how to harness it. I would say, but you know, they were probably closer than we'd all wanted to admit.
It looks like they were using the heavy water to cool down and operate natural uranium fuel. So the heavy water, they needed it to keep it as a neutron moderator so it didn't become unstable, is what it looks like to me.
But it does become radioactive.
That it does. A series, what was it? Hold on. Yeah, basically, the Allied bombing was to blow up heavy water plants so they couldn't use them anymore. So I'll definitely look at Wesley, obtaining a little bit of knowledge from a history book.
This was a TV series.
Yeah.
So if you get time, or if you have the History Vault channel or whatever, the series was called Hunting Hitler. Basically, it went on to prove that Hitler, you know, he left, he got out of Germany. That whole thing with him and Eva Braun getting killed at the bunker, that was proven basically as potentially false, probably false. They basically took their case to the FBI, and they're like, yeah, if this case was brought to us 60 years ago when, you know, right after World War II, we would classify Hitler had escaped and have an open manhunt on him. It's really interesting.
So the place that they think that Hitler escaped to is in Argentina. The city of San Carlos de Bariloche is a known historical refuge for Nazi war criminals after World War II. They still have like German and Nazi days in that town where they celebrate the German heritage. And most of the people in that town look German. Like a whole bunch of people made it there, which they're also thinking that there's also a cave or a built bunker around there that's housing a lot of stolen artifacts from Europe.
Yeah, I would believe every bit of that. I believe they found Himmler down there. There was multiple war criminals from the Nazi ages that were found in Argentina.
Jerry's doing speed research right now. That's why it's being so quiet. He's
All right.
typing his ass off trying to catch up with us. But yeah,
I'm not much of a history buff.
I would say if you have a cool 25 to 30 hours to kill, pull up the Hunting Hitler docuseries off History Network. It's awesome. It really is.
I used to watch that weekly on, was it Discovery Channel that it was on, or was it the History Channel when it first came out?
I don't remember which it was on, but it was awesome.
So did you like the episode about the extra thick concrete super tunnels that were running underneath of the entire cities?
That was insane, wasn't it? Just that whole town was set up for him to escape. Like he knew what he was doing was bad, and he knew it could go bad, and he was giving himself an escape route just in case it did go bad.
And it was on the History Channel of all things.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of that came up. Jerry, what do you know about the war over in Europe?
It was not awesome.
Not what you researched. What?
No, hey, but I want to touch on something. This is kind of changing the subject completely, but I want to touch something when you were talking about those concrete bunkers and stuff. So what about the conspiracy that Elon Musk is getting to move towards living on Mars? He's building those tunnels out in Vegas or Hollywood or whatever for cars to go under. He's got the electric cars. He's got robots. He's working on shooting people into space anyway. So how far away are we from living on Mars?
Realistically, 20. I think that if you pull up, I think if I heard it right, there was an interview that Elon actually said the amount of years he thinks it's going to take to get there and get it done.
Gotcha.
But I'm double checking as well. I just not typing as fast as you.
Said in the late 20 or early 2040s.
I was fucking close. Not bad. Not bad, brain. Good job, memory. So, Wes, do you think it's possible for us to go to Mars and live there?
Well, I assume that they have elements that they can turn into oxygen. They found water molecules, I believe, on Mars, if I remember right. I'm not sure how you go about it, because I don't think you can just live in a spaceship forever up there. They'd have to take resources up there to kind of build something for people to live into, but potentially, sure.
So, do you think that people can actually go through the Van Allen radiation belt?
Idea.
Do you know what the Van Allen radiation belt is? It's the belt that surrounds Earth that no living thing has gone through other than the astronauts that have gone to the moon. And they did it with lost technology in, the 60s? That they don't have the technology to get through it anymore? And that's why nobody else
They
has
just
ever gone
lost
through it? Yeah,
Just
lost.
I misplaced it. Sorry, guys.
Exactly. That's what they said, that the technology is lost now.
Let's be
But-
honest. I honestly, I believe that there's been a car that's been made that's ran on water, right? But the guy who
100%.
invented it magically died, and no one has been able to replicate that. So there are people out there that can keep information out of other people's hands. So, like, is it that far-fetched to believe that we had a technology 60, 70 years ago that's gone today? Because I believe it's happened already with cars that ran on water.
They have cars now that the closest thing that they're saying that they have for cars with water are hydrogen cars, and their byproduct is water. They use hydrogen as fuel, with water being the only byproduct. So it literally just runs water out of the exhaust. That's as close as we've
Right,
gotten
but-
to a heavy seawater car again.
Yeah. So the fact that no one else has been able to replicate that, when many people believe that technology was discovered 50 years ago, or was had 50 years ago, but it hasn't been able to be replicated. So the fact that we lost a technology that gets us to outer space that we had 70 years ago, I don't think it's that far-fetched.
So now they're saying we did not lose the technology, but rather let the infrastructure and specific hardware become obsolete due to the end of the Apollo program. And they did that because of shifting national priorities. And they can't replicate what they did with modern computers because the original hardware was less powerful than a smartphone. They got to re-engineer each piece of the technology from scratch now, and they just haven't done it.
Well, so, and I'm sure we're all thinking, boy, that's dumb. How hard could that be? I was working for a company that, couldn't get rid of using the green screen technology for their programming because they couldn't get something to work as well as that, right? We're talking green screen from 40 years ago, everything's inputs and menus, and we couldn't advance past that. We tried, and they put out a couple different programs to try to get rid of it, but it kept having to go back to the green screen because nothing was as good. Sometimes technology doesn't advance, really.
So how do you explain the mouse running across in the videos of the moon landing?
Say what?
So in some of the videos of the moon landing, you can see a mouse run across the spacecraft. How do you explain that?
Who knows? I can't. I'm not going to say that thing was real. I'm not going to say that thing was faked. I have no idea. Anybody that does know the truth at this point's dead.
Or they're still redacting files. How the hell did we get back on the moon landing anyway?
Full circle.
Next thing you'll be telling me is a rocket blew up, or the dog didn't come home, or something. I just threw a fun one into Grok to see what happens. So Elon thinks it'll take 20 to 30 year horizon for achieving a fully self-sustaining colony on Mars, according to his own AI, Grok.
Nice.
He thinks uncrewed Starship missions, first 5 to 10 cargo flights to test landings and deliver 75 tons of payload each, will be 1 to 2 years, 26, 27. Crewed crewed missions, 3 to 6 years from now, 28 to 31. Humans will arrive after uncrewed proofs of concept. They will focus on building basic infrastructure, and they will use Optimus robot crewed flights by 2026. Scaling up infrastructure, they will have 5 to 8 years out, 30 to 33, 100 plus ships per window by 2030 to 31, ramping to 500 by 2033. They're going to deliver 1 million tons of supplies to enable habitants' fuel production from Martian CO2 and water, food systems, and manufacturing. The goal is to support thousands of settlers. By 2030, 1 million person colony that can survive independently even if Earth resupply stops.
Damn.
So that's what he's got her broke down to on the colonization of Mars. So the challenges that he's got set up to overcome is he's got to figure out how to orbital refueling, and that's one of the things they got to work on. And one of the other things is he's warned that bureaucracy and low birth rates or civilization collapse could derail the progress. So a lot of talk about that.
You always got to think about the future,
Yeah. So how do you fix the low birth rates?
Well, let's be honest here. So one of the things that's happened in the last few years is all these attacks on, let's be honest, women's rights with abortions, right? So everybody's like, oh, we shouldn't need abortions, just keep your legs shut. So what's happening? Women are keeping their legs shut. It's dropped the birth rates.
So I just say just add alcohol. If Matt Damon could grow potatoes on the moon or Mars or wherever he was, they could grow it there and they could make liquor out of it. Party started.
That would be Mars, sir. He was on Mars growing potatoes.
Yeah. I'm sure the same thing could be done in a bunker in the moon.
So, Wes, how much did it cost to rescue Matt Damon?
Oh, you've mentioned this before. It was like $900 billion or some bullshit.
We're still in debt.
Fictional amount that doesn't fucking matter. If they had just let him die with his brothers in fucking the European fucking Saving Private Ryan movie, we'd all be better off.
Well, we traded Tom Hanks for, Mark Harmon. No, not Mark Harmon. Jesus Christ. I can't even say his name right now. I'm having a bad day. So, what do you guys actually think that Elon's timeline can actually happen?
100%.
Wes, what do you got? You think it's possible for him to hit his timeline with this?
Bold men make bold decisions and try bold things, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to do it, it'll probably be him. I think it's outlandish to think he's going to do it as quickly as he's suggesting. But the way technology has advanced over the last 20 years, who's to say he's wrong, 25 years ago, we couldn't be doing this, what we're doing right now, because we were all on dial-up fucking internet, right?
And it keeps multiplying faster and faster, so who knows what's next.
Except for yours, Cody.
Yeah, no, mine's doing fine today. You shut your face. I actually have new internet coming, so fuck off. It'll be here shortly.
That must be her idea.
And then it'll be all Wes's fault why nothing works right.
Well, that's fair. Speaking of internet, I am just getting home, so I'm probably going to sign off, guys. But
you got to hold on for about 2 seconds because you haven't covered your boy yet this week. And I think the handful of people that listen to you to hear you rant about the fucking Browns want to hear your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders.
All right. Well, so here's the thing. The first sack was bad, but he only had one of those, which tells me it is something they're actively working with on him. The special teams was fucking atrocious. I don't know how you ever expect to win a game with the special teams the Browns have. Shedeur, they're going to give him another opportunity this weekend. It's against Titans. I think we should expect to see good things this weekend from him. I think, I still see potential in him. So I see more potential with him in just attempting to get the ball downfield than we had out Dylan Gabriel. I don't know. I have hopes for him. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully my hopes are right. I could be wrong. We're the Cleveland Browns.
You had your hopes set on Dylan Gabriel. there until Shador
Well-
started. You were a diehard Gabriel guy.
No, I don't think I was a diehard Gabriel guy. I think what it was I was hopeful that maybe he could be a guy. I think honestly, when you take these guys, Dylan Gabriel was taken in the 3rd round. Best case scenario for most 3rd round picks, if you're a quarterback, is you're a career backup. And you'll do decent when you do have to start a few games, but you're never going to be the guy that leads the guy to the Super Bowls. You're probably not Nick Foles. You hope for Nick Foles out of a 3rd round quarterback, but probably not. So
The good part of Nick Foles, not the fall apart Nick Foles, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the Browns before you sign off? Like
if they wanna,
number written on the tape. What about the number written on Myles Garrett's tape because he wants 28 sacks this year?
I tell you what, he's up to 19. We got 5 games left. He could get there. So
you think he's gonna smash the record?
Yeah, I mean, unless injury happens, I don't know how he doesn't. So
all right, that is the Flounder Browns talk for the day.
There
You have
you
a
go.
lovely
We'll catch you
evening
later,
at home
guys.
with your internet, sir.
Have a good one, man.
all right, see ya.
Later. So that was
I think we could just agree the Browns just played a far more superior team. Can we just agree on that?
I think the Browns are going to get their ass kicked about every game they play, and it doesn't really matter. But everybody's talking about them because Dion's kid is on the team, and they think he's the savior of everything. And I
think
thought it was
learning out that ain't the truth.
Yeah, and I saw the TikTok where the other brother got kicked off for fighting off of another team and it's not really begging, but that's what it looked like for Shador to get him on the Browns. So I don't know. I don't understand, and I'm stealing this from, I believe it's the Rich Eisen show, maybe is where I heard this, but I'm not sure. But people are so invested in a multi-million-dollar golden spoon-fed fucking son getting to play football in the NFL. Not a kid that came from nothing, that worked his ass off to get up to the top. No, we're talking about a kid that's had a golden spoon in his mouth his entire life and just happens to be a Hall of Famer's kid, and that's what we're hanging our hat on as the new savior of Browns football. I don't see it. I don't get why there's so much buy-in and why it's such a controversy.
Sounds more like a Pat McAfee quote, though.
It could be. It could be. I don't know. I just took the original quote and I embellished it because, I got to put a little bit of anger into it because it's fucking ridiculous.
There you go.
But it was either Pat McAfee or Rich Eisen that said it. It's not my original quote that I chopped up and made it fit my narrative by any fucking means.
All right.
Which I might as well steal fucking Annie Agar's fucking take on something then and be like, why the fuck did you not run the ball with Derrick Henry and let Lamar Jackson throw it 9 times in a row? For fuck's sake. Sorry, I just watched her TikTok a minute ago.
Why don't you ask Seattle why they didn't ever hand the ball off? They might still be heard about that one.
Do you follow college at all?
Just a little bit. Mostly just Iowa, though.
What the hell is up with that Lane Kiffin shit that's going on?
Is he the one that's got into the portal again or is going to?
No, he got Ole Miss into the college playoffs and then accepted a job with LSU and is just leaving before the playoffs start. The best season that Ole Miss has ever fucking had, and he's walking away before they play the playoffs to go to LSU.
He won't be able. Can he play at LSU this year?
No, he's a coach. He's the coach. He's the head coach.
Oh, he's the coach.
Yeah, he's the head coach.
Holy shit.
How would that make you feel as a player on Ole Miss if your coach walks off?
I might have some feelings about that. That's kind of fucked up. But then in turn, maybe it's kind of a varsity blues turnaround and the team takes over like, hey, he didn't get us here, we got us here.
Yeah, but he went to a conference rival as well.
Maybe is there a chance they can meet up?
Well, yeah, they play every year.
Right, but I mean, still though, this year could they potentially play again?
No, LSU is dog shit this year, like I predicted, and I got blown up for saying that they were going to have a bad season. And then halfway through, they had a bad season and they fired their coach, and their Heisman quarterback that I didn't think was as good as they thought he was is no longer in the race. And he's thrown, like, the last time I checked, 21 interceptions this year. or
Damn.
some stupid shit like that. But then they fire their coach, and now they've stolen Ole Miss's head coach to try to save them. It's
Man, if
interesting.
you have a team that's doing pretty good like Ole Miss was, why would you go to a ship that's already sunk?
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, I get it, but man, how much time did he put in building up Ole Miss?
A year?
Yeah, all right. So there's no loyalty anymore.
No.
Rarely is there's coaches that stay at teams for 20 plus years.
Yeah. Besides coaches, the transfer portal is fucking ridiculous.
No,
Now you can just walk
I don't
around
agree with that
playing
at all.
players. Yeah. I think one of the first things he said he was going to do is, blow all of LSU's money on getting in players, and he plans on trying to steal 3 of them from Ole Miss right off the jump.
Wow.
At least that's the rumor mill I've been hearing. So fuck, who knows?
Right?
So how's your pro football going for you this year? 'Cause I know Iowa sucks, and we don't need to talk about them.
Well, my team's the Niners. We're doing better way better than I thought we were going to.
Yeah,
Sitting at 9-4.
My team seems to be, well, one of my teams, because I have 2, because I was originally an Oilers fan, and then when they left, I had to become a Bears fan until the Texans went back, so now I'm torn. But the Bears are leading their division.
Yeah, that's unbelievable too.
How fucking often do you get to say that? You never get to say the Bears are leading at anything except for the, number 1 draft pick race. Just about all the Bears have been able to muster up since '85. Yes,
I would say luckily we were old enough to remember that and the Super Bowl shuffle.
You bet.
Talking about one of the greatest personality teams of all time.
You don't get much better than fucking McMahon at quarterback for personality.
No, I mean that's what the league is missing right now. You throw a couple of quarterbacks in there, throw in an all-star, a couple big heavy just fullbacks. That right there brings the game.
You bet. Shit, like bring back Barry Word, the Nigerian nightmare to run through people, for fuck's sake.
But it's like UFC, I don't care how good you are. It's all about shit you can talk. But you're going to get me fired up one way or another, good or bad. Just bring it. Like McMahon, he had 0 fucks. And from the clips and stuff that I seen of it, he didn't even really want to practice or do much. He'd come in hungover, smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, he was basically like Nigel Gruff off The Replacements, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer when he's supposed to be practicing. Walking around barefoot, playing in pro-am golf tournaments. Yeah. And then you got Sweetness at running back.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you can't get any better than that. How many like Hall of Famers came off the '85 Bears? There has to be a lot of them.
Singletary.
Dent.
Was it Willie Golt? Wasn't he on there?
Yeah.
Did Perry ever make it in?
I think so. I'm typing it in right now. 7 members of that team. Walter Payton.
And plus
Richard Dent. Dan. Yeah, Dick is one of them. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton, Jimbo Covert. He was the center. Mike Singletary, Steve McMichael, and their coach, Mike Ditka. McMichael's induction in 2024 made him the final member of that iconic team to be honored.
Why would it take that many years to get somebody in the Hall of Fame?
Because of the position he played, I believe. He was going up against a lot of stiff competition. I mean, the other ones are 100% easy to get in. Well, I guess Jim Covert, he didn't make it until 2020, but all the rest of them made it. So he hung out on the ballot almost as long as McMichael did. So
right, 35 years, 34 years, something like that.
Yeah, quite a long fucking time.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think you can really put a team like that together again and not have them in jail for playing on the field.
Tell you what, the last prospect I seen coming up that I thought was going to make a difference was this guy right here. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Well, no, I can see it.
Okay.
The kid in the Alf shirt.
Yeah, you remember your first day of 4th grade?
Yeah, that was not my first day of 4th grade. That is not me. And you forget that I have the edit button.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Well, I can prove that that's not me because I never even owned an Alf shirt. And it does not even look like
you
me.
had the doll.
I might have had the doll. I don't think so.
I know I did. I had the stuffed animal.
I'm not sure if I had it or not. I was blowing up army men about that time with firecrackers and shit out in the sandbox. I wasn't allowed in the house to have nice, cool teddy bears.
Oh, there you go.
So we've hit about your hour limit now. Is there anything you want to cover before we wrap this one up tonight?
Nah, I think that's a pretty good week, bud.
Since we didn't even get to talk about pyramids or aliens, or we had to listen to that drunk guy from fucking northwestern Iowa that was sober for a change.
Yeah, it gives us more to touch base on next time.
Yeah, no shit. Well, all right, man. Make sure you come up with your nice little health conscious bit that you got going on at the beginning of these for the next one, and we will see you then. Have a good night, man.
Sounds good, brother. You too. Later.
It's called Frosty Ding It, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.
Well, I guess I think it should be Dr. Parker.